Welcome to Confessions Beyond the Food. I'm your host, Nancy Redland. Let's dig in and get inspired. Hi, welcome back to Confessions Beyond the Food. My name is Nancy and I'm with W3 Sales. So we started W3 Sales 10 years ago, and this month in January marks our 10th birthday. So we're super excited that we're still here after 10 years, and we've built it from the ground up. Everything has been organic growth, and it's just really cool to celebrate 10 years of, creating my ultimate dream company. And while it's been filled with lots of bumps and bruises and getting knocked down, but it's also been full of many triumphs and awesome people that I've met along the way, and people that I've learned from, and especially our team. Our team is very, very special group of people who care about what we do. And I'm just really, really honored to be sitting here today at 10 years. So, and I love birthdays. If you're my friend, you know I love birthdays because it's just a really great time to be around people and reflect on the past year and what went great and all that sort of thing. And it really ties in with the new year. So with us being 10, we're going to be doing 10 podcasts and about just, our journey throughout the year. So we will sprinkle these in throughout the year, and it'll always be around about the number 10. So I don't know about you, but I love new beginnings. I think new beginnings are great because it's a great time to kind of refresh and start over. And that's what I think a lot of people think about in the new year is, what is this next, you get to dream a little bit about what you want, what you expect for things to happen. And of course, you never know what's going to go down in the next year, right? I used to say, this is our year, ever since 2020. And it has not been our year, as what I planned. But when I look back, it was our year. And it's important to look back. And that's my number one is it's really important to look back and see, what worked and, what has worked. What did we fail at, and what are obstacles that keep us from achieving our goals? The number two thing we look at is I like to learn from our mistakes. So if this is probably the most important thing, because if you keep, if you don't address the mistake, if you're not able to step back, look at honestly, very honest without shaming but just, your failures and, where you need to grow, that's when breakthroughs come about. We often talk about if we continue, repeating mistakes or not changing, you're just on the insanity cycle. And it's that the insanity cycle is, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That is not going to happen. And so, it's important to, really pinpoint, where was this mistake? Where was the miss? What can we do differently? And you might not know the answer, and that's okay. That's when you ask people around you, your teammates, your, other people in the industry that you look up to, other businesses like yourself, people outside of your industry. So, I think this is really important, and to just get really good and honest feedback as well. I like to ask, how are we doing with our clients? What are we doing well? What do we need to do better? And I think with these two things is looking back and learning from our mistakes you can really set yourself up, with a solid foundation. The third thing that we like to look at is obviously the most important thing is our people. So our people make up the DNA of W3 Sales, and they are very important to me. Retaining them is very important to me. So we're a little bit different because we typically bring people outside the industry into W3, into the food service industry. Because right now, there's not a lot of new blood coming in. And it's harder. Believe me, I realize why it's definitely the road less traveled, because they get in, they may not like it. It may not be what they thought it was going to be, and they get out. So because our job is pretty tough and our days go by really, really fast, and it can be a grind, and it's not like this super glamorous job that everybody has. And you're a professional schlepper. And so it's really checking in with our people and making sure they're okay, and asking them, how's it going? Do you enjoy coming to work? Is this a place where you can grow, that you feel like you have opportunities? It's really challenging in a small company versus a large corporation, because, in a large corporation, you can see, okay, I'm going to start off as inside sales, and then I'm going to go up to sales, and then I'm going to go to be a sales manager, and then all the way up to CEO, and you can really see that progression. But with smaller companies, just because we're small doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to grow. We really like to figure out what people are good at, obviously, and where their strengths lie and what they love to do. And outside of sales, like, are they artistic? Do they do well with technology and all those things? And as far as management goes, how do they relate to others? We use a system called Enneagram. And if you don't know about it, I definitely recommend you check it out. And they do have Enneagrams for businesses. But this really goes into a crazy deep dive of who you are in terms of traits, characteristics, blind spots. And that's been something that has really helped me as a leader of the business understand my people and how they respond to things, how they engage with people. And it also helps our employees in that they can see, hey, this is where I need to grow. This is what I'm doing great at. So it really gives them a breeding ground for growth. And so looking back at our people is super important. Going right along with that is our culture. So we want, from the inside out, we want to be walking the walk and talking the talk. And what I mean by that is that we have a list of 12 core values that we have established within our company. And throughout the year, we do activities to remind everybody about those core values. And while you may not have seen that, if you check out W3 Sales, our social and our website, we don't really say those things. We want to show those things. We want to be those things. And so you really have to start from the inside and work your way out. It's pretty hard to fake these values, when you're face to face with people, and as far as having a reputation. On the flip side is that social can make everyone look amazing. And so, and I mean, I love a good filter. I'm not going to lie. And we are all about being splashed all over social media. But the important thing is that we want to reflect what we're showing from the outside. So the outside has to match the inside. And it really does start with the inside. And leadership, making sure that I am living up to the goals that we have set and the standards, the characteristics, leading with a servant heart, and working as a team. So I am actually probably more accountable to the core values, just because, I'm asking people to do that, and they want to see that I'm going to step up as well. And we're not all perfect. And I know that it's going to shock you that I'm not perfect. Just kidding. I'm very imperfect. And I think it's important, if you have a manager that, you're struggling with, is to realize that they're not perfect. And there's no perfect scenario. We are all human, but these can be opportunities, to, if you do have a manager, to talk to them like about things you're working on and developing, and being open to having a better working relationship with them. So it's a really good time to do a check, not only if you're an owner, but if you're an employee, and to figure out like, hey, what are the core values of my company? And, what can I do to live those out? And maybe the core values don't align with what, your personal values are. And so that would be a really good gut check too. Another thing that in culture again is a really big deal for us, is, W3 is very adaptable. We're a young company. We've had to be really quick on our feet, and we have to be able to, we get pulled in lots of different ways. And so, being adaptable is awesome, but you have to balance that with being consistent. So that every time that we sit down and have a meeting, it's not going to be like, okay, stop everything we're doing. We're scratching everything. We're going to try this other thing. Or just doing, fire drills constantly. And this is much easier said than done. It's something we've always wanted to be good at, but we've had to fine tune that each year. Another thing is just having a team culture. So team is very important to me. Within our organization, we work together, because if we work together, we can accomplish much bigger things than working individually. And that's, mind share, like, hey, what are you doing that works? What are you struggling with? Having, that bond, those friendships. I recently saw a post that was like, don't get too personal with your fellow coworkers. And I have a problem with that, because, obviously you need to make sure it's a safe place to be a friend with that person. However, I think it's really important to establish friendships. We work most of our days. I don't know the exact percentage, but we work a lot of our days, more than I'm with my family. So I definitely want to work with people that I enjoy working with. So establishing that relationship, that friendship outside, and then just with being in outside sales, it can be really tough, and it's really nice to go back to a team that you feel supported, and that you feel that they're going to cheerlead you through whatever struggle you're going through. So the fifth thing that we really look at is our infrastructure. And our big thing is as we grow, we want to be able to support our client base. We have people spread throughout Texas and Oklahoma. And my vision, my promise to my factories is I want you to have the same experience as we grow as you did when we first took on your line. And that is, and that's something that's been challenging, because sometimes people say, oh yeah, we'll hire these 3 people down the road. Don't worry about it. We want to make sure that we have the right infrastructure, the right coverage, the right resources, so that this factory can grow, because you're a team, and they're taking, when you work with a client, whether it be somebody who's using your services, they're trusting you, with their business, and because there's lots of other options out there. And so our job as salespeople is to make sure that they get the experience that we've sold them on. The sixth thing that we kind of look at is the marketplace. And I know it's really, really difficult to predict the marketplace right now. There's just every year there seems to be some crazy challenge, and that, upcoming this year, we're looking at potential tariffs and many other things. And I think this is really important for you to not just make a broad generalization, especially if you cover multiple states or multiple cities, because every city is different. Every customer is different. They all have their own unique challenges. And so to really go through those customers and figure out, like, hey, what are they going to face? Like, what is it to walk in their shoes? And how can we come up with solutions to help? The next thing that we look at, the seventh one, is technology. So the real fun thing lately is AI. And so whether you agree with it or not agree with it, you're not on board, you don't want to figure out, I recommend checking into it because it's not going to go away. And I think it's really important. You may not, even if it's just picking off a little piece of that technology and implementing it to make it work for you. And that's what we're planning on doing this year. And then my favorite part about planning for the year is number 8 is, what do we want to try this year? What are our new ideas? And oh my gosh, if you were to sit in one of our think tanks or leadership meetings, or just be in my head for a minute, I mean, the ideas are they're always coming. And that's a really fun thing, is to think about, what if we did this? What if we did that? The challenge is number 9. Once you figure out those ideas, is evaluating, does it make sense? Is this the right time to adopt this? It may be an incredible idea, but the timing of it is probably not one that's going to work at this time. And how do you figure that out? So several mentors that I've reached out over the past couple of years, and just as we've grown and how to grow our infrastructure with that, every single one of them have said, make sure you have the time available to do it, the resources, the talent, the money. So if you have those things, then that would be a good time to adopt it. If you don't, it's probably not a good idea. And that doesn't mean that you won't be able to never do it, but you have to do first things first and really prioritize what's important. And then the last thing, number 10, I have to say, is probably, especially with it being our 10th birthday, is just not being afraid to fail. And this is hard because I hate failing. Failure is never an option, but unfortunately, that's just part of life, is that we're going to fail. And I'm going to be honest, there's been days where I'm just like, I quit. I can't do this anymore. And I feel knocked to the ground, but I just start going. I haven't lately been putting as much pressure to just jump up and be like, because sometimes I can't do it. And so just crawling is all I can do. And then I can, stand up, and then start walking, and then I can, get back into the run. But I think that during our failures, really good things can come out of that. Again, same thing, going back through this list of looking through all these steps. But the most important thing, I think, is every day is a new day, and we're not perfect. And we have to remember that we are not our worst moments. I don't make, great decisions all the time. I know, another shocking revelation, but no, just kidding. But we all make mistakes. We all could have done things, a little bit better. And you don't want to be stuck in a shame game. the thing is you just want to keep moving forward. They have a saying in my church, and I just love it. It's okay to not be okay, but just don't stay there. And so I have found myself in these, like, I'm on the ground. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to quit. And I just keep taking little steps. And then eventually you can look back and see, wow, look at this hill that I've climbed out of this deep, dark crevice. And it's been really helpful. And I think in these situations too, it's really, really important to have positive people around you, people that will support you, people that, push you. I have a mentor. I have a personal mentor. I have mentors within the industry, but I have a personal mentor, and she is one of the scariest ladies I've ever met. And she's really, really nice. However, she can look at me and she can just tell, she can pull out like what I'm really thinking, and she will call me out. And I can't sell my way out of it because she can just really read me. And I prayed for a mentor for years like that. And I'm so thankful to have her in my life and to be able to run things by and make sure it makes sense, as far as my, what my purpose here on life is, and what I want to do with the company. In the 10 years, in the beginning, I thought, we're going to make so much money. And if you're wanting to make billions of dollars, this is not the job to do. However, it is a very rewarding business because it's a relationship business. And that is that's my goal in moving forward. Because if I focus on my people and I focus on our culture, we're always looking to improve the industry. That's the legacy I want to leave behind. So this year we're just going to be taking a look at, 10 things, that we've learned along the way, funny times, crazy times, all the things around 10. So I'm really excited about this year. My confession is that I don't know about you, but I am not a resolution person. I stink at diets. So I'm more about just adjusting some of the behaviors but I'm not giving up chocolate. I'm not giving up wine, dry January. However, I found those new mocktails that can make you relax, so I might put those in. So that's another thing is just don't get down, and resolutions might work for you, and that's great. But I like to focus more on a word, a behavior that I want to work on, and not just beating myself up when I don't achieve that, every day of every single second, because it's just not possible. But I hope in all this you were able to find some encouragement, some things to maybe think about for your upcoming year, whether you're a salesperson and you have a big number to chink away, to chisel away. I don't know what the word would be. Or you are a sales manager and you have people that you want to train and grow, and just to look at all of these factors. And then, of course, as a business owner, there's nothing more important is to have a really good, solid plan, a good understanding of where your Achilles heel is and what you guys' strength is, and also what's going to bring your clients value. So in all that, I wish you guys a happy new year, happy planning, and I'll see you soon.
For more inspiration, follow our social media at W3 Sales. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All the things. We would love to connect with you.